Konosuba Volume 17, Epilogue. In the same old, unchanging room. In this boring and unchanging workplace of mine, a regular customer appeared. Yo! He raised his hand and gave me a friendly greeting. Though now is not the kind of situation to be saying yo. Kazuma-san. Good grief, why are you? Why does this person die so easily? He even defeated the Demon King, so I really wish he'd stop popping up in here so often. More importantly, I really wish he'd stop making himself at home here. He had both hands behind his head and crossed his legs, completely at ease. This is the place where the souls of the deceased end up. It's not supposed to be a place where you can make yourself at home, but... Phew, this place really is the best place to relax. How do I put it? I feel like I'm being rejuvenated just by meeting Arasama. Saying that, he laid down, using his hands as a pillow. Good grief. I had a really hard time after that, you know? Do you know how much work it took me to return here? Well, I mean, you were gone by the time I got back to town. I was planning on giving you a lift. Give me a lift? No, more importantly. Could you please stop calling me Arasama? You are the hero who defeated the Demon King, and you know my true identity as well, so you can drop the honorifics. And you should also use your usual casual tone. Well, if you speak to me like you usually do, I'll do the same. That's how I naturally talk when I'm a goddess. Still, you look really worn out. What happened this time? After peace was restored to the world below, I haven't had the chance to observe it too much. Just what kind of monster killed him this time? With the Demon King defeated, the monsters of that world should have grown weaker. As he is right now, there wouldn't be very many creatures capable of killing him. Well, a lot of things happened. Actually, I was kicked out of the mansion for getting a little carried away. I'm the hero who defeated the Demon King, you know? It shouldn't be too much just to ask for a few rewards more. That's terrible. I don't know exactly what happened, but I agree that this man deserves to be rewarded just a little more. Sounds like everyone is as lively as ever. Did you run into any major trouble so far? Yeah, they really are lively. Nothing really troublesome has happened so far, but... Well, I have a really bad feeling. For instance, recently, Megumin has been disappearing off somewhere with Yunyun quite often and coming back with a refreshed look on her face. She must be letting off her explosion somewhere, but who knows what she's using as her target this time. I think I'll keep the fact that the two of them have been heading to the Demon King's castle every day to blast it with explosion to myself. As the great noble who helped defeat the Demon King, Darkness was granted new land to govern. Speaking of which, she has been complaining about receiving countless marriage proposals from not just nobles of Belzerg, but from all over the world too. Recently she has holed herself up inside the mansion to avoid meeting the messengers from the country. He's the reason why she's rejecting all those proposals. Seriously, acting like it doesn't concern him at all. She faces strong rivals in the form of Megumin and his adopted sister, and on top of that he's such a free-spirited person. Darkness sure has it tough. And Aqua, who kicked me out from the mansion, refuses to let me back in. She keeps telling me to stop saying stupid things or the like, but even if she says stupid things. Just what did you say to get her to kick you out? I believe this is the second time he was kicked out of the mansion. He has accomplished many great things to save the world, so just saying a few things shouldn't. I was being showered with praises and attention after defeating the Demon King, so I let it get to my head a little and made just a little joke. It went, alright, Daddy's making a harem. Arasama, I do feel bad over that, so please don't stay silent. It's going to make me depressed. I take back what I've said. This guy should definitely go through a little more hardship. Well, anyway, you can feel free to relax here until Senpai calls you back. But I guess it'd be fine to let him relax when he's over here. Call me back? I'm not dead, you know? He raised his head from the floor and said that. You're not dead? But aren't you right here? Well, yes. I came here by my own power. I teleported here. Teleport. You know, I was here before the duel with the Demon King, right? I still had a spot open for my teleport destinations, so I thought. What did this man just say? Wait, hold on a minute. You placed a teleport destination here? Yeah. I mean, come on, not even I would leave Aqua hanging here without a plan to get her back. By the way, do you think I can come here to hang out every so often? You know, when I get dragged into troublesome things. No, you can't. What are you saying? And, you managed to register a teleport point here? How could you do that? Actually, how do you keep doing things that no one else can even consider? Well, I just tried it as a test and it worked, so. If he could just pop in here anytime he wanted, this place would be stripped of its dignity entirely. Come to think of it, Darkness has been looking for Chris a lot nowadays, you know? Actually, if she could just meet you normally, there'd be no need for this charade. Ugh. If I meet her now, she will chase me to the bottom of it. I'll find time to meet with her later. Then, he languidly sat up. Seriously, how could they treat the hero who saved the world this poorly? Right, I think it's about time I go teach them a lesson. He cracked his neck as he was saying that and stretched. The hero who saved the world. He says it so flippantly, but does he really understand what he has achieved? A single powerless man with unreliable companions managed to defeat the Demon King's generals and other strong enemies one by one, eventually managing to take out even the Demon King himself. Even the great heroes featured in the extremely distorted fairy tales could only achieve such a feat with the help of legendary equipment and powerful companions. First is the idiot who kicked me out. I was just a little soft on her, and it immediately got to her head. He started chanting teleportation magic while doing some light calisthenics. Just imagining the scenes that would take place after this brought a smile to my face. Even though chaos and trouble followed him everywhere, he always seemed to be in good cheer. Right, Aris-sama, I'm off to make them cry a little. Have a safe trip. Don't do anything too horrible to them, okay? Hearing my words, the great hero who saved the world turned around with a wry smile on his face. I hope that this person gets rewarded just a little more. I hope that he will never come to regret staying in this world instead of going back to Japan. Kazuma-san, please hold on for a moment. You don't come here very often, so let me give you a little present. He gave me a puzzled look. In response, I extended my hand and gave him a smile. I wish good fortune upon you who have worked so hard for the sake of this world. I hope that you'll come to enjoy this wonderful world that you've worked so hard to protect. I extended my hand towards him and offered a prayer from the bottom of my heart. Blessing. Short story 1, today, I win again. I called out to Kazuma who was laying on the sofa, casually patting Konosuba laying on his lap. Kazuma, if you are free, can you go out with me for a bit? Upon hearing that, Kazuma looked up at me and said, If you want to do your daily routine, wait till after we have lunch. If you need someone to be a witness for some duel you're about to pick with someone, get Aqua who can use recovery magic. If you want me to follow you because something you want just came out, then go get Darkness. That's not it at all. Just what kind of person do you think I am? Those seem vaguely familiar somehow, but if I admit it, I lose. And the strongest Crimson Demon can't possibly be defeated. Do you want to go on a date? You don't need to jump up like that. You gave Konosuba quite a shock. As we wandered around the town of Axel, Kazuma tilted his head and said, Say, Megumin, you invited me on a date, right? That's right. Doesn't it feel very much like a date when we walk together like this? Kazuma had a frown on his face for a while now, though I have no idea what he's so unhappy about. Yeah, but those people who have been sneaking around behind us all this time are your classmates, right? You only invited me out to show off in front of them, right? Indeed, just as Kazuma said, 3 of my classmates have been following me. One of them is my rival, Yun. The other 2 must be Funikura and Dandanka, or something like that. I have no idea why they are following us. Maybe they just have too much free time on their hands. Well, it's true that I want to assert my dominance over those sore losers who are at the age where they should be seeking a boyfriend, but it's also true that I do genuinely want to go on a date with you, Kazuma. When I told Kazuma my honest feelings, he blushed red and started acting suspiciously. Oh. I see. Well, I'm fine with that. Seeing Kazuma's awkward behavior, the people behind me suddenly erupted in muffled shrieks and whispers. I'm sure those 3 are reaching the peak of their excitement. Then, Kazuma opened his mouth like he just remembered something. You know, the dates I know consist of much more flirting. Like walking around with our hands intertwined, or kissing whenever our eyes meet. I can understand holding hands, but if we start kissing in the middle of the street, the other adventurers will tease us, you know? And, doing such things in front of my classmates is embarrassing. I casually held his arm as I said that, and once again muffled screams came from behind me. I really wish they'd stop stalking me and go somewhere else to play. Kazuma seems to have heard them too, and gave me a confident smile. Ha! Then, today, let's show your classmates what you look like after ascending the stairway of adulthood. Leave it to me, I know a thing or two about such things. Kazuma, whenever you get full of yourself like this, you always mess up, so don't do anything unnecessary. He'll definitely get full of himself, so I had to hammer home what not to do. Those three will probably go home in tears after seeing us flirt with each other. So, once they leave. Wait, did you just say doing such things in front of my classmates? That means. Yes, that's exactly what you think it means. Come on, let's get on with our date already. He's as blunt and lacking in tact as ever, but I guess that's part of him that I fell in love with. Looking down in order to hide my blushing face, I pulled on Kazuma's hand and tried to leave. It's only been a short time since I last saw you, but you've really changed since then. Only for my path to be blocked by a blushing Funikura. What are you trying to do, Funikura? Are you not satisfied with just stalking, so now you want to get in the way too? I'm Funifura. Remember my name already. And I'm not stalking you for the sake of it. I came here to deliver a letter, and I can't stand to watch you be lovey-dovey with him anymore. Funifura pushed a letter into my hands while averting her blushing face. This is a letter from my parents and Kameko. Sorry, I thought you were just here to spy on me, so I tried my best to put on a show. Yun said that the two of you really are an item now, but I still don't believe it. There's no way you who had shown absolutely no interest in love could have beaten me. I'm no longer a child who places such importance on winning and losing. Honestly, I really couldn't care less about Funifura and the others anymore, so I really wish they'd hurry up and go. Hey, enough about that already. Let's be alone together so we can make out. Why do you have to open your mouth at a time like this? Okay, fine, I get it. Let's go back home. At Kazuma's words, I hastily snatched the letter from Funifura's hands to hide my impatience. It's fine, it's not embarrassing at all. If anything, I want them to spread this news to the other people back at the village. This would put an end to my rivalry with Yun and strike a final blow to Funifura, who had been making fun of me for so long. Funifura, who had constantly poked fun at me and Yun about matters of romance back when we were classmates, seemed to finally admit defeat and broke into tears. Yuwa! I didn't want to believe it, but it's just as Yun said, the two of you really are an item now. You two are definitely already busy making babies. We haven't gone that far yet. Wait. Please don't spread false rumors about me. Funifura took off running after leaving that ridiculous line, and I chased after her. Short story 2, a night out with the wrong crowd. Thank you for attending my daughter's birthday party. She has always looked up to you, Dustiness-sama, so I'm sure this was the best party she had. The host of tonight's party, the Marquis, said as she saw us to the door. It was my pleasure to be here. I envy you for having such a beautiful and adorable young lady. Now, then, if there's ever the chance. I smiled at the young girl standing behind the Marquis and gave her a wave. After saying my farewells, I headed over to the carriage. Dustiness-sama, are we heading back already? The party had to end early on account of the Marquis' daughter's young age, but isn't it a little early for us adults to go to bed? If you have time to spare, perhaps you'd like to join us for a few drinks. Of course, there'd be other noble ladies present too, not just us men. I'm sure everyone would be elated if you were to join us. Just as I was about to step onto the carriage, a nobleman just slightly older than me called out to me. Behind the two of them were several other noblemen looking at me with an affectionate smile. No, my apologies, but if I'm late in returning, the people back home would worry, so perhaps another time. Is that so? No, I'm the one who's delaying you, so pardon me. The Dustiness family is in charge of much of the internal security of the realm, so it's only natural that you're busy. Please don't worry about it. When I replied with a smile, the two men blushed red and let out a small sigh. Socializing is important, but I can clearly tell that this party would just result in being surrounded by smiling nobles showering me in praises. I think I've had enough of putting on the guise of a noblewoman for tonight. Bidding my goodbyes, I got onto the carriage. I'm home. Wah! Darkness. The moment I opened the front door of the mansion, a bawling Aqua came rushing to me. I can guess at the reason why she's crying, but... What's all this the moment I come home? Did Kazuma scold you again? That's not it, listen to me. Kazuma is terrible. He went and snuck off to that pub that we promised to visit together when it opened by himself. Hey, I didn't sneak out to visit it. In the first place, we never promised to visit that pub together. And if a new pub were to open in town, of course I'd pay it a visit. As it turns out, it was for a far more petty reason than I expected. In that case, why don't the two of you just go to that place together? We could invite Megumin too. Ha! Even if you take me there, it's not like you'd let me drink anyway, right? In that case, I don't really. Yes, I'm coming with you. I'm coming with you to eat some good food. A somewhat sulky Megumin said that before heading off to prepare. It's a little late to say this, but aren't you wearing a really expensive dress? Did you head off to some noble's party or something? It really is a little late, but Kazuma asked. Hey, Darkness, you didn't leave us behind to go to some glamorous noble's party to hoard all the good food for yourself, did you? Did you bring anything back? You must have brought back a box stuffed full of delicious food, right? Stop it, Aqua. Don't pull on my dress. This type of outfit slips off really easily. And how would I be able to do that at a birthday party for a noble girl? Kazuma, Megumin, please say something to Aqua too. Aqua, do your best. If you cause a slip, I'll treat you to something expensive at the pub. This man is really the worst. Darkness, hurry up and go to your room and change. Then we'll all go out for a night on the town. Saying that, Megumin started struggling with Aqua. I already ate, so I was planning to spend the rest of the night at home. However, we often have meals together at the Adventurers Guild, but it's rare for us to spend a night out together like this. Hey, Aqua, why don't you teach this young lady some games? This way, when you come home in the morning after being out all night, Darkness would be a little more gentle in lecturing you. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Very well, this Aqua who is famous for drinking around in this town will teach you how to hold your drink in this newly opened pub. It's really unfair if everyone other than me is going to be drinking. I'll be drinking tonight too. However. Alright. I'll go change, so give me a moment. Oh, yeah, make sure to dress modestly tonight. If you go to that kind of place wearing your usual erotic outfit, some drunk man is going to come up and start trying to pay you. What do you mean by my usual erotic outfit? I always dress modestly. When I shot back, the three of them froze up and looked at me like I was speaking a different language. Yes, tonight. I'm tired of being formal and putting on a noblewoman's guise. Let's go a little wild tonight. Leaving the three of them who seemed even more dumbfounded behind, I returned to my room in a good mood and quickly changed. Short story 3, The Same Old Town of Axel. On a certain afternoon. Hey, Aqua, I need to ask you for a favor. I was happily taking a nap in the back garden with Emperor Zell on my belly, when a NEET came to interrupt me. I opened my eyes and whispered to avoid waking up Emperor Zell. Can't you see what I'm doing right now? I'm taking a nap because I got sleepy after lunch. Don't wake me up unless the world is in trouble or the heavens are about to fall. If something like that was really happening, I wouldn't bother coming to a simpleton like you. How could this man call a noble and beautiful goddess like me a simpleton? You're really lucky I'm in a good mood after eating my fill, you hick and eat. If I were in a bad mood, you'd be a crying NEET right now. Oh, you sure have some guts, you goddess of naps. How about I turn you into a goddess of tears instead? After I sincerely apologized, the easily tricked NEET let out a sigh. It's not anything major, and you can go back to your nap once you're done with it. Well, if it's not anything major, then don't bother me about it. That was just a little joke, so don't make such a scary face. If you do anything horrible to me, Emperor Zell, who has now evolved into a high-level dragon, won't stand idly by. I raised up Emperor Zell, who evolved into a dragon after drinking a mysterious potion, and the low-leveled NEET picked up the furball that was sleeping by his feet. If you're going to use the chicken as your shield, then I'll use this cat that is the natural enemy of chickens. Hey, why is she scared of a bird when she's a cat? The furball instantly started struggling in the NEET's arms, like she's trying to say that fighting Emperor Zell is an absurd idea. It's obvious that a cat can't stand up against a dragon. That black furball fears Emperor Zell by instinct. Hey, Konosuba, don't you have any cat instincts? Even a chicken is looking down on you, you know? Are you sure you are an evil god? This Chunny NEET said something that sounded a lot like what Megumin would say. Well, it is true that this cat is quite strange, what with her bearing fangs only against a goddess like me and her fondness for taking baths. I don't have time to care about Konosuba right now. More importantly, Aqua, can you get in the bath? So you finally reveal your true colors, you brutish NEET. You don't normally see me as a woman at all, but now you're telling me to take a shower before seeing you. I'm going to smack you if you keep saying such stupid stuff. It's my turn to clean the toilet today, but Darkness and Megumin came back covered in oil and herbs earlier, so cleaning it up is proving to be a pain. What happened to those two to get them to come back in such a state? Are they trying to change classes to fried food? I'm really curious what happened to result in this situation. The two of them went on a monster hunting quest together. Well, I'm sure it's something stupid, so I didn't ask too much about it. Anyway, can you please purify the bathwater for me? What is this man talking about? Do you think goddesses are some kind of detergent or something? If I'm going to take a bath, I would rather take one in a tub that has been scrubbed clean. I'll buy you a mug of ice-cold crimson beer after you're done with your bath. I decided to take a bath. Hey, Aqua, you sure are drinking something nice even though it's only noon. Darkness isn't around, so do you mind giving me a sip? As I was enjoying my ice-cold beer after my bath, Megumin came up and talked to me. This is my reward for cleaning the bath. In other words, I cleaned up after the two of you dirted the toilet. If you want a sip, why don't you start by apologizing for making such a mess? Gurk. I never thought there'd come a day when Aqua would be cleaning up after me. But I do want a taste of alcohol, so I'm sorry for causing you trouble, Aqua. That's a rare honest apology from her. She must really want a taste. Just then. You can't have that even if you apologize, Megumin. It's still too early for you to be drinking alcohol. Hey, Aqua, get this. After we were done with the monster hunting, Megumin found a patch of herbs and did her thing. What are you saying, Darkness? You were the one who was clamoring to keep that oily slime we found as a pet. Thanks to you I ended up covered in oil, too. I enjoyed my glass of beer as the two of them started arguing with each other. Just then, I heard the angry voice of the housewife Neat come from the bathroom. Aqua! You were playing around with the soap and shampoo again, weren't you? They're all gone. In the first place, Darkness, you are way too obsessed with slimy stuff. The other day too, you were gazing enviously at the piece of Tokorotan slime I got. You really shouldn't play with food. Even I wouldn't do something like that. My body just reacted upon hearing the word slime. As the voices of these inept girls drifted through this calm afternoon, I enjoyed my mug of beer. Hey, Aqua. I was planning to take a bath after everyone was clean. Go out and buy some shampoo and soap. I once again managed to protect the piece of Axel. End of Konosuba Volume 17, gifting these adventurers with blessings.